You've started decluttering, it's going well, you're on a bit of a roll, but boom, you come across some sentimental things and your world is leveled. You don't know what to do. I've been there. I have made some decluttering mistakes. I've also been kind of like stopped and paralyzed at the decluttering when I just don't know what to do. Pumpkin! I think some people feel the pressure to declutter absolutely everything. They think that it just has got to go and they feel like they can't keep anything, and that's so wrong. Because the thing about sentimental things is like some of them we keep. Some of them are very special. Look at the little sweater. Oh my God, it's so small. Oh, it's adorable. They think they can't keep anything and they get scared. And then they totally stop. They think, no, I don't want to get rid of everything. And so they're totally overwhelmed. Hey, I'm Robyn. I help overwhelmed people shed all of the excess, the clutter, the habits, the beliefs, the people. Let's dive in. Grab your tea and let's go. I don't have my tea here. This is bad. First off, let's break down why sentimental items are sentimental in the first place. So Joshua Becker says sentimental items usually represent one of three things: a relationship, an accomplishment, or an experience. So for me, sometimes I can like look back and be like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of being in high school. I was so young and so free. Or maybe it's like when my babies were born and they were so little, you know, a relationship / an experience. Does that ring a bell to you? Does that like connect with you at all? Let me know in the comments. So the other day I was working out downstairs when a song came on and it totally rocked me. Like it just hit me. Boom. It reminded me of my dad. And my dad passed away last February of 2022. And he was such a great dad growing up. So one time we were driving from the interior of BC to Calgary. It's like a 6-hour drive with my best friend, my brother, me, and my dad. And all of a sudden, Bohemian Rhapsody came on. We were all so excited. We were all literally singing. We were having so much fun. We were laughing. It was so great. So here's the thing. I don't actually need anything to have that memory. Pretty much, I just need to like watch Wayne's World. And I am transported back in time. And I'm not saying I didn't keep anything from my dad. I kept this awesome coffee mill, which I absolutely love. It reminds me of growing up. I love this. It's so cool. I think it's very cool. It's very sweet. This is fun too. I actually have his ashes downstairs, and I like to go and visit him from time to time. Hey, Dad. I have to tell you about the craziest thing that happened today. Okay, so the ashes might even be hard to let go of. But if it wasn't for his wishes to have them scattered somewhere specific and legal, I might add, but maybe I wouldn't even let them go. I'd be like, oh, no, I can't. He wanted to be scattered, but no, I couldn't. No, obviously that is special. So I'm just editing this video and I just wanted to point out, it may look like I'm very upbeat about all of this, but I am a person who does like grieve privately, and I just really want to show you how, you know, my relationship with my dad was not defined by things, and that is why I included him in this video. I'm actually getting something to remember him. It's like a really cool glass keepsake my uncle had done for his sister's ashes, and we were like, that is so cool. And so we can choose anybody in the family who wants something, and we can have like a little bit of him with us, which I think is really special. Very truly sentimental, but it was a careful decision, right? Like I was like, okay, should I do this? Because I am careful about what I bring in and what I keep, and you know, there's a lot to it. But it's very important that you understand you don't have to get rid of everything. You can keep some things. The things that are special you can keep. I just don't want you getting caught up in keeping things because you don't like the passage of time. Okay, don't even get me started on kids. Their first steps, the first day of kindergarten, the first time that they tell you that they hate you. Memories. So for each baby, I have got this box, and I put in things like their little outfit coming from the hospital. So cute. He was very small. Like this, which is where he made a turkey. I have said it before and I'll say it again. I am a sucker for some turkey artwork. the little hat. And so this box contains some of their artwork, not a lot of it, but just some of it. And funny enough, like as I go through it, I can be like, you know, and I kept like a couple of things, like just a couple of outfits like this. Oh my God, so cute. And what's really funny about this is like, it's mostly baby stuff. Like, look at the little shoes. Oh, Susie, so cute. Oh, a little foot was in this once, okay? A little foot. And look at this. This is a Coke bottle from the Olympics when they came to Vancouver. And so I think one of my kids looked up the value. I can't remember what it is. I'll put it on the screen, but kind of funny. So they each have one of these, and I've been like, don't drink that Coke. Don't drink that Coke. You never know. That could be worth money someday. Pardon the massage face, but I'm just editing this video, and I wanted to point out that normally I'm not like, that could be worth money someday, save it kind of person, but only because it was the Olympics. It was right over in Vancouver, and it's sort of like our kids' keepsake from that. Normally I would not say that, and you know, it's up to you what you do, but something potentially being worth money someday, that's not, no. So in this box, there really isn't that much. I could keep more, but remember one very important thing. The item doesn't hold your memory. It might trigger that memory, but it doesn't hold the memory. So what can you do instead of keeping every single item? Because like, I get it. These items, they feel precious. Put a pin in that one because I have a great tip for that. One thing I need to add here quickly, okay? Don't declutter to other people unless they really, really want it. And maybe they've even said it ahead of time. Hey friend, you are just passing your guilt at decluttering onto them. We're like, oh, it's okay because I'm giving it to somebody I know. Now, if somebody tries to declutter to you, I need you to repeat after me. Hey, thanks for thinking of me, but no thank you. Try that. And if you've inherited maybe your parents' belongings or someone else's, you might have absolutely terrible guilt at decluttering their things because you might be like, well, these aren't my things to declutter. And you're full of like all of the sentimental ties to them, like the experience and the person and all of that. But I want you to ask yourself this very important question. Would they want you to be unhappy with all of their stuff? Probably not. And you probably should let a lot of it, almost all of it go. Like seriously, look through it. Keep a few things if you feel drawn to, but only keep the things that have meaning to you, not because you feel like they wouldn't want that decluttered. That is no bueno for you. So one of the biggest reasons that we actually keep things is that we don't like the passage of time. I mean, I love the passage of time. Actually, I'm totally lying. Now, of course not. I hate it. I'm a nurse, and I often have patients who will say to me, like, weekly, they'll say, don't ever get old. Like, keep in mind, these are older people and they are like there for some kind of medical reason. So they are not feeling their best. And I 100% understand that. But here's the thing. I kind of want to get old because that means I made it. Like, I always go, well, I hope I do. Yes, there are struggles, there are tribulations and all of that. But wouldn't you rather enjoy your life as you're getting to that destination than be surrounded by a whack of stuff? Because the thing is, you will enjoy your life more if it is somewhat simplified. And I'm not saying you have to go full minimalist. I really, really, really am not. But instead of lamenting the time passing, which is very easy to do, let's just live in the present. And we can look forward to the future, but we're not living in the past, which is so often what is happening when we hold on to these things. So live in the present. You can look forward to the future, like I said. Now, I know it's easier said than done, totally. And believe me, like my son is graduating this year, and it is not easy looking back. I mean, really, he was just so cute, my little guy. But I know that it's so important to live in this precious moment, because if I am busy living in the past during this precious time, I'm not getting, I'm not enjoying this time. And maybe in the future, when he's like married with kids, I might be like, oh, I'm so sad. Remember when he was graduating? Oh, like, no, I want to be here for that. So how do you even declutter the sentimental items? Like, can you even, or are you just stuck with them forever? No. Number one, I want you to ask what the genius Peter Walsh came up with years ago, and he says, is it a treasure or a trinket? So a treasure is something that actually has a meaning to you. A trinket is something that maybe reminds you of something, but it doesn't really have like a full-on meaning. Like there's no real connection to that. So like this beaker doll, for example, that my husband gave me when we first started dating, that is very special to me. It has a very fond memory and I will keep it forever. It's also very small. This, for example, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of trinkets left to show you, but I did come across this, and this is for like stringing up Christmas cards and stuff. And so I was like, yeah, it does remind me of when I got it, but definitely falls into the trinket category. It really isn't. Maybe gives you a chuckle or something, doesn't pull at the old heartstrings. I also want you to ask yourself, if you're keeping something based on a memory, is it a happy memory? So I used to wear this sweater to work when I was a 911 dispatcher, and I would wear it every night shift, okay? Is that a happy memory? Not really. I mean, I was working. Like, it's not a bad memory, but it's certainly not worth keeping just because. It's almost like I'm keeping it out of tradition. Totally unnecessary. The other thing is that consider all of your sentimental items should fit on like a dining room table. So like the size of this island, basically. All of your sentimental items. This is again from Peter Walsh. He's so smart. Which means that they should be few and far between. Treasures are rare. If an item triggers a memory, but if you declutter it otherwise, I want you to ask yourself, what could I do? I don't really need this, but I want to keep the memory. You need to write that down. You could even make a file on your phone of you telling a story, and it would be so great to have. And you could put like stories, and nobody even knew how the goat got on the roof as a different folder, or have a book and just write down those memories. Take a picture of that thing or of those kids' things, whatever, and then let it go. I actually have 73 decluttering tips in this PDF here that you can download to help you in your decluttering journey with things like sentimental items or like your kitchen, for example. Now, the most important thing that I want you to remember is asking yourself, why are you decluttering things in the first place? Why am I decluttering things in the first place? What is the ultimate goal in life? Is it happiness? Are things making you happy? See, for me, my ultimate goal is to really enjoy life, to feel like things are lighthearted, freedom, and I just want to feel like I am not bogged down by a bunch of things. I don't like the pressure. I don't like the stress of having a bunch of things. So are the things that I'm keeping making me happy? A few of them certainly are very special to me, and I will keep them. So what is the decluttering mistake that I've made? There's one thing that I remember decluttering that I still kind of regret just a little bit. It's not necessarily that I regret it. It just kind of makes me sad. And I will get to whether or not you need to be happy about decluttering everything in a minute. But it's these cute little mugs from Krispy Kreme. And they had a cute little donut in the bottom. They're adorable. And I bought those with my husband. My husband and I were on like a little trip to the mainland. And we went to Krispy Kreme and we bought 4 little mugs, and it was so great. And my kids, they used them when they were little, but they're very small. But the thing is, it's not really a regret though, because they would probably never have been used again. Maybe a few times by my grandkids. And I do remember my grandma had like a couple of little mugs that we would use when we would go to her house. So it's things like that where I'm kind of like, but then at the same time, I'm like, but why keep them? Like, really? Instead, I have these super cool little monster mugs that I made with my kids, which is a super positive memory. It was really fun. We had a good experience. All of them made something. So that is something that I feel very tender about keeping for now, but maybe I won't forever. So what is my regret? Well, I actually have 2. So the first thing is starting with and decluttering other people's things. Never, 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 never start there when you are decluttering. That's their stuff to declutter, and so often we're kind of like, oh yeah, I got all this stuff here. That could go, that could go, that could go, and it's not even your stuff, it's somebody else's stuff. No, 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 no. How we do it is we start with our own stuff, we lead by example, We might be like, gosh, it sure is nice in here now that this is decluttered. And people will be like, oh yeah, it is. Maybe I'll start decluttering my own stuff. Because the thing is, like, they might have sentimental things and maybe they wanted to like part with those things on their own terms. Maybe you're like postponing decluttering your own decluttering because it's easier. And the other regret that I have is actually not starting sooner. I wasted so much time starting with other people's things, but also just wasted time in general. But actually, I'm happy that I have decluttered. And also, I really want to remind you to remember, you don't have to be over the moon and excited to declutter things. Like sometimes you can be a little bit sad to let something go, but you know it's right to let it go. Just be satisfied that it has met the right criteria for you to let it go. It's okay to be a bit sad, but revisit your reason to declutter every single time. And in addition to that PDF, I have a video with those 73 declutter tips, and I also have the PDF linked below that video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.